guys, this is Svein on the SDS channel back again, and today we're gonna have a look at the Cowgirl West 106 Western Cowgirl LS2022-08B figure. This is the other version of the figure I reviewed in my previous video, which we have here. And yeah, there's not too many differences between this figure, the version B, and the version A, so the review on the figure itself is gonna go fairly quickly. We're just gonna look at the differences between the A and B version, and we're also gonna have a look at the base, diorama base that you can order separately, and that's the LS2022-09JT. So yeah, without any further delays, let's get straight into the box here, and we'll take it from there. The box on the 08B version is identical to the other version, the 08A version. So there's nothing new about the box, and everything is also packaged the same. It comes in foam. You have the warning. You have the exact same accessories with some minor differences, and you have the base, the stand in the bottom tray. So I'm just gonna pack everything out of the boxes, and we'll do a quick comparison with the 08A version. And then we are back. And yeah, I must say that was rather a most unpleasant experience, to put it that way. I tried to put her belt on, and it stained the figure like a motherfucker, guys. I barely brushed the gun belt against the body here, and it left stains. Like, damn, that shit ain't good, guys. It's like they have been bathing this belt in some kind of powder and just threw it in the box. They did absolutely nothing to prevent the belt from staining, or the pleather from staining, and I am not sure what they have done here. It must be a part of the dyeing process. But then again, you get this note though, that it's suggested that the protective film on the pigment body should not be torn off when wearing the holster. So in other words, you have to have visible plastic wrap on your figure to have it complete on your shelf. That's what the company are telling you, and that's right off the bat. It's a really bad thing, guys. So I'm not sure if this company thought it through with the pleather stuff. They should have gone for some other. It would have been better with some other type of material, but I do not know what made this. It wasn't this piece, but it was the belt itself. it stained the body like you don't. I don't get it, guys, and because it didn't get moist. It doesn't. It doesn't leave dust, as far as I can see, other than the small particles that was on the figure, because the company didn't clean off the pieces properly after they cut them out. But why should the dye on the belt stain the body this much by just touching it? I tried to wipe some of it off, but as you can see, there, down here, up all the way here, on the stomach here, I managed to get some of it off, but I tried with a cloth of water and tried to rub the stain off, but not possible. And down here too, serious marks. And on the back here, it's like the belt piece itself was dipped in some blue powder, and it stained the fucking hell out of the body. So I probably have to look for another. I think it was a S12D body they have used on this one. Maybe I'll have to check it out, but I had a chat with someone yesterday that guessed that this was a S12D body. But yeah, if you get this figure, don't attempt to put the belt on it, because it will stain it like a motherfucker. I did, however, buckle it up, and I tend to just leave it hanging over the shoulder, not touching the body all that much, but at least she wears the gun belt and the gun. But won't be able to use this one then, because this part is just, once you get the belt onto the figure, you're just supposed to pull this, put this over the belt like so, and that's it. There's no putting anything anywhere here to secure it. This is just how they intended for this other holster to be on the belt. This other holster here is actually fed through a small cut in the belt there, but yeah. Anyway, enough about the complaining about stained pleather on the figure. I promised a comparison, and a comparison I will do. So first off, the obvious differences. Let's see here, we pull in version A here, and we start with just the figures themselves. Both figures are built on the same body type. I'm pretty sure it must be a S12D body, but the one on the left is tan and the one on the right is pale, I think. It's hard to tell because the skin tone on the body here looks slightly brighter than the one on the left, at least to my eye. But then again, it could be the same body for both of them, but this one looks a little bit brighter to me. The other difference is in coloring. You got brown on the left and you got blue on the right. You got brown boots, brown chaps, base brown for the belt with I think it's pink or purple details on it, and you got this brass color for the details, and it's the same with the weapons too. Her on the version A weapons comes with gold details, while the version B weapons come with a more just a metal color here, as you can see. This one is die-cast too, just like for the other figure, and same functions and everything. But yeah, it's more like plain metal rather than the copper or brass details that's on the version A figure. Revolvers, plain metal instead of the brass color. So there you go with that. And the detail here is the belt is actually dark blue with bright blue details, but the details are basically the same for both of them. And the other difference is in the head sculpt. So let me remove the hats here on both of them. Let's move the camera in a little bit closer. And here are the head sculpts. Oh, excuse me. The head sculpts looks about the same to me. But the one on the left have and her hair loose like that, while version B have this braided ponytail. So there's a difference there, and that's pretty much the differences between these two figures. It's the base color on the clothes. It's blue for the version B and it's brown for the version A. That's the major difference here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Not much else to say, because I got pretty pissed due to this belt staining the body. So if you get the version B, don't put this belt on the figure straight out of the box. You should try to rinse off some of the dye or something. Just do something to prevent the belt from staining the body. I don't see any stains on the version A. I've been looking all over it. Do not see any stains whatsoever. But on version B, the belt, it's stained by just brushing barely on the body. It wasn't even brushing against the body. It just touched the body and that was it. Because I was about to buckle the belt up and I put it around her waist, and I put the pin in the buckle here through the belt, and I put the excess piece here through this loop, and I was about to tie this around her leg when I noticed how badly that body had been stained. It was just like, yeah. So I didn't even bother putting the belt on. Anyway, we're at the last piece of the set here. This is the diorama stand, the leaking wine barrel diorama piece here. As you can see, here is the box. LS2022-09JT and 1/6 scale. On the side here you got the LONGSHAN or LONGSHANJINSHU logo, still made in Cheyenne, but yeah. This is the box, nothing particular to it, and it's packed in styrofoam. Like so, and here's the inside of the box here. It's got some pieces here. You get the wine splash thing here. You get the barrel, which is packed in a plastic bag. And there's this tiny bag with the shit you're not supposed to eat too. And in the layer underneath, you got the base part itself, and that's it for the packaging. And here we have the parts. Let me see if I can get some proper lights in here. You have this wine splash piece here. Really nicely sculpted, translucent red, and yeah, nicely sculpted, hard plastic with the insert parts at the ends there. So yeah, there's the wine splash. The barrel, it's really nicely sculpted and painted. It looks beautiful. Going all around it there. There's the bottom. There's the top. Nicely sculpted. You can remove the lid and it's hollow, so you can store extra pieces and stuff in there if you want to. So yeah, really nice. And you got some bullet holes on the side here of the barrel, and this one right there a little deeper than the rest, and that's where you're supposed to insert this piece right here. I do have a small little problem though, because it looks like this piece is supposed to be keyed, but the post on the wine splasher is not keyed the same, and it's honestly a couple of at least two maybe 3 millimeters too long for this port, so you can't put it all the way in, but you can shave off some of the tip there if you want to, and it should fit nicely, like I will probably do. Yeah, barrel is made of plastic, and wine splash made of transparent plastic too. The base, however, is some sort of plaster, I think, but got quite a weight to it. And you have the brick floor here, and you have this insert for the barrel to rest in. You got the transparent wine here, and it looks like somebody messed up the shine here in the production, but got this slight discoloration here on the wine surface. You got the piece or the port for the wine splasher, and it's supposed to sit right in there or rest in there. So yeah, it isn't keyed or anything, it's just shaped kind of to be there. But yeah, the base is initially very nicely done, but there's some flaws with it as well. It's everything doesn't seem to be able to fit together really nicely and stuff. It got some discoloration. I'm gonna add some felt pads on the side hair cushions so it doesn't scrape up my detolf glass. But yeah, and how you put this together is, if camera can focus, you take the barrel and you put it in the circle there, and it's about the only thing that really fits together on this space. Then you take this wine splash thing, and I just put it in the wine spill or pool first, and then I rotate the barrel until I hit the just about on the wine splash, and I lift the barrel up and allow the wine splash to rest inside that hole. But the wine splash can't fit properly into the hole of the barrel, and the wine splash can't fit properly in the hole of the base here. So it results in the barrel being lifted up a millimeter or so on the side here, but you won't notice it on the shelf, I think. So let's see if we can shine some lights in here. So, and here is how the dio base looks like when put together. The intention is good. The pieces by themselves look good, but when you put it together it starts to kind of hit and miss here and there. But yeah, that's the diorama base. And that was my review on the Cowgirl West 16 Western Cowgirl figure, the LS2022-08B, which is the blue one on the right here. And I also had a look at the diorama piece that you could order separately from the same company, and again it's the LONGSHANJINSHU company, still made in Cheyenne. And yeah, I got mixed bag feelings about this company. It's if I look at it this way, I bought 3 products from them. I bought the version 08B, or A, I mean, the 08B, and I bought their diorama piece 09JT that's supposed to go along with each other. And that's 3 products, and out of 3 products I'm basically only really happy with 2 of them for various reasons. First off, straight out of the box, both the figures were missing one of the spores. In the case of both of my figures, it was the left foot on both figures. The metal pin had fallen out and the wheel was floating around in the box. So yeah, that's one miss. And second, there's a lot of bad decisions on materials here. I'm gonna tell you that much. You got pleather that stains very badly on the version 08B. It barely rested against the body, and you have a bunch of stained spots on the figure. So yeah, that's a big no-no to me. Second, you have these spores on the heels of the boots on the figures. They are made of rubber, So yeah, they're not sturdy enough to hold the pin in place. So you got to be really careful so you don't knock the spores there and the pin knocks out of the hole, and you'll be looking for both the very small pin and the wheel that you have no idea where went. So that's bad too. And there's parts that doesn't quite fit together, like on the diorama piece here. You shouldn't have to do modifications for the set to actually fit together. But that splatter or the leaking wine here doesn't fit quite into the hole as intended. It doesn't quite fit into the hole into the base quite as intended. So you actually have to get out tools to fix it, to put it together. Another bad move in this case, like the revolvers here are fine. They're made of plastic and the hands can hold them. But this big chunk of Winchester rifle, everything is die cast, and the swivel joint in the wrists or the swivel motion cannot for the life of it support the weight of this heavy weapon. So you have to use both hands on the figure no matter how you're gonna pose it. So it sucks that they actually went for die cast for such a huge piece like this that the figure can't hold the weight of. And that goes for both figures. And other than that, I actually love the concept of these figures. I'm a huge boobs and butts man, so I like this. I like this style, and that's why I got both the figures. But it's a shame when the joy of the figure is going to get ruined by a choice done of the company that manufactured them, like the pleather materials, staining the figure like a motherfucker. And not only that, the company actually knew this was going to happen. How do I know that for certain? Because they actually added this piece of note in the box that tells you to leave the protective plastic on the figure if you're gonna put the belt on it. So it's not something that happens over time, but the pleather on the belt will stain your figure by just looking at the fucking figure, and that's a shame. You also get this, at least they explained it by leaving a picture of the figure on the box, showing that this could actually fit onto the figure if you just tucked this extra piece here over the belt, and it would hold the second holster. So at least they did that. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm thinking you knowing the deal with the spores on the boots here, that when you open the box the first time, be really careful not to pull anything out and hold it over a blanket or something where tiny pieces can get lost into if they drop out. Make sure you check inside the box to find the wheel itself. Carefully check the spore that's missing the wheel. If the pin is still in the hole in the boot there, or if it's not, then you should start searching around in the cavity where the figure was resting in the box, because there will be a small tiny little pin there about 6 maybe 7 millimeters long, but it's really thin, so it can easily get lost in the corners in the box and stuff, so be careful. With that said, if I was going to choose one of these two figures now, when I know the issues the B version had, I would go for the A version. Plain and simple. I like the blue color stuff here more, but I don't like how it will stain the figure. So I would, if you're gonna pick one of them, pick the brown version. It stains it has less issues, to put it that way. As far as the diorama piece goes, it can be modded to match and fit perfectly well together, and it will look cool on display. But is it necessary? In hindsight, no, you don't really need the dio base there. It looks good and everything, and it will probably be cool on display, but it's not like you actually need it. Both the figures come with their own stand. When I pre-ordered these figures, I kind of assumed these wouldn't have their own stands. It's typical for TB League figures to not include a stand, but they came with one, therefore I didn't need the barrel to rest the figures against on display. So if you're thinking about getting the diorama base simply to have some sort of support for the figure on display instead of the stand, then you should know that each figure comes with a stand, so it will basically be just for display. Yeah. But I don't regret getting the base though, but I will have to do some modifications to make it come together a little bit more. But I'm pretty mad at the belt staining the figure that bad. When I read the note in the box, I thought that I shouldn't leave the belt on the figure for a long period of time, because that can stain the body. I didn't know that. Don't let the belt look at the fucking figure, because it will stain the motherfucking body to the... Yeah. I didn't know that. If this LONGSHANJINSHU company had written on this piece of paper, do not put the belt on the fucking figure, I wouldn't have done it. But the belt couldn't even look at the figure without staining it, and that's pissing me the fuck off, just to let you know. And yeah, other than that, I really like this type of figures. I like female figures for my collection, and this looks good. So I'm gonna try to solve the problem here by getting it a new body, now as I know what kind of body it could be. But yeah, I think there's a tan and a pale version. I'm standing here looking at it and thinking, how big is the difference? And the body on the right, to me, looks slightly paler or brighter in the skin tone than the one on the left. So there might be a tan and a pale version. That said, if the difference is so minor that I can barely pick up on it, or it is possible that it's the same exact skin tone, it doesn't matter. If I get a S12D body, I should be in the clear, and I could just swap over this plastic bra under the shirt. There is tied up in the back, so if I undo the knot on front there, it shouldn't be difficult to remove the top. And I would probably get a pair of blue jeans to put on the figure, and then try to get the chaps on top of that, and make a cowgirl figure that isn't that nude, to put it that way. But yeah, I think that is it for this set. You heard me swear a bunch of times now during this review, which should indicate some sort of my satisfaction over this version B figure. I'm really happy with this one, the LS2022-08B, or A, I mean. The A version I really like. This is really good. This B version, in principle I like this one too. I like the colors, I like the black and silver. I just like the color combination here a little bit better than on the A version. But this fucking belt, it stained the fuck out of this goddamn figure, and I hate that shit. Anyway, hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you got something to say, you have this comment section that you can go nuts in. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.